Today we're taking the Jeep out. We're starting in Charleston and heading to Fayetteville, West Virginia, one of our favorite small towns in the state.
We made the drive today up to Fayetteville, West Virginia to the New River Gorge. We are just walking around the town looking at different shops. Our goal was to find a patch to put in the roof of our Jeep just because we've been here quite a few times, but we've never found a patch. So we did that. Actually, first store we went in.
It's cold this way.
Oh, it's cold. Let's go look at some shops. Margaret's like, I just woke up. She is. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
What are you doing? Are you looking out? This is perfect, honestly, because you can't pull them off. Good job. Good job. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you, Dada?
Now we're just walking around. I think we're gonna check out the Secret Sandwich Society because everyone says it's super good. They burned down, rebuilt it. Looks really good. Just had some coffee that was delicious. And it's starting to get kind of cold. We're gonna do the old drive when the New River Bridge wasn't built. So we're gonna try that out. Hi, beautiful. They have all these sandwiches with presidents' names. We went with the Lady Bird. We actually have to cross over the New River Gorge Bridge in order to get to the old route. The old crossing is called State Route 82, or also known as Fayetteville Station Road. Bridge behind me. We are currently taking the old road before the bridge existed. This is such a scenic road. It's super cool. We got the Jeep on a little adventure today, so taking it out. So I love all the views. It's kind of nice where it's winter time and you can see all the scenic mountains. This is really a cool drive, and neither of us have done this before. So this is a good little outing.
put some of the bind in this.
Say go Detroit. Go Detroit.
Watching football.
Thanksgiving, Margot's first Thanksgiving.
Our
She's
belly's
got her
full.
Thanksgiving choo-choo, little star, and a turkey.
Turkey. Margot. Hi. Hi. What are we doing today, Tyler?
Mowing the lawn. Just kidding. Working on the Jeep.
Yeah.
We're working on the Jeep today.
Okay, so what are we up to? What's going on?
It's been a long project, but we're working on the Jeep, specifically these tail lights that are not tail lights, but we're making tail lights.
Where are you putting them?
There's a little hole here, so when they're mounted, they look something like that. One here, and then one here.
Okay.
Crazy thing about these lights is they're red and white lights, and the red light is just one light. It's not a dim and a bright. So we're not going to have tail lights and brake turn signal. We had to choose. That's what the long project was about. We figured out that they don't do that, and so we're just choosing with brake lights and turn signals. And then we're going to have to hardwire the white light all the way up to the OEM switch. Sounds a little bit crazy, but honestly I think the bulk of the work is going to be just cleaning it up under the chassis.
Okay.
So that's what we're working on right now. What we've got to even start this whole thing underneath already installed. I don't want to take it apart because it's really a pain in terms of it's easy, but they're stuck together really well, so it's a lot to pull them apart. So we took the 7-pin that had a 4-pin on it, and then we just bought another 4-pin with 4 leads on it. What's critical about the 4-pin that's nice is they give us this card, but it'll explain what we're doing, is the 4-pin that we bought just has 4 leads that hang off of it, those 4 wires right there. And so we're gonna take the left turn and the right turn stop and wire them to our red light. We're not gonna use the tail lights, unfortunately, and then we're gonna take the ground and obviously connect them to both the grounds. And so that's what we're working on right now, and we're hopefully gonna get working. And then we'll work on the white light, which is pretty much a standard push button switch, and I've got the OEM switch pack, and we're just gonna hook it up to that. So that'll be really easy. Like I said, the biggest thing is gonna just be routing the wiring so it looks nice, and obviously we're gonna have 12 feet of wiring probably. So right now, I've connected the 4-pin together underneath. None of this is zip tied. I'm gonna clean all that up on the back end. But the theory is we've got that connected, we've tested it, now we just need to do the proper wiring. So we get it wired in, it'll run something like this inside, it'll run up the inside of this pillar, and then it's gonna kinda hide back in here. So we've got these 3 wires, right? We've got this black wire, which is gonna be our ground. The yellow is gonna go to our left turn signal and brake, and the green is gonna go to our right turn signal and brake. So I kind of want to get this just roughed in to see how much length of wire I've got and if I need to add any extensions. And I'll be honest with you, we're looking pretty good because these lights have a 4-pin just standard Deutsch connector on the back. Now one of the pins actually doesn't even work. So you can see on the back here, this pin, the top left pin, does not really do anything, and I confirmed that with the company that makes these lights. So we're just going to run this blue wire, which is the red light that illuminates, to our turn signal and brake. So what that looks like is I got new Deutsch connectors because these have obviously been through some life already, and I put it in this light. So when we compare this, now we look at our ground wire is technically yellow, so we've got to make sure we're tracking our colors. So I've got those written down, but this blue here thankfully lines up with the blue one here. This is going to be our brake and turn signal light right here. So I just need to make sure we've got a ground wire run to our ground, and then connecting our, if this is going to be the left one, our wire off of the 4-pin to this. We're going to have to splice the ground so that it can go to the other light, and then run obviously the right or whatever left we haven't done yet to that one. Just pretty easy. It kind of makes sense. You just got to make sure we're doing them right. And so that's what I'm working on right now, is just kind of roughing it in, seeing if we've got enough wire hooked up. It looks like we do. I have to splice off some of the ground wire to get to this first light, and then we'll work towards the second light. Tailgate is a black set of pliers. They're like cutties.
Yep.
Should right there. Thank you. All right, So here we've got the yellow, which is making sure I've got this right, the left turn signal and brake. And so we're taking this and we're gonna hook it up to the blue wire on our 4-pin Deutsch connector, because this blue wire is what illuminates the red light. So when we hit that turn signal or brake, that's what's making that connection. So I'm using pretty much a standard butt connector. I'm no electrician. My brother is a mechanic and he recommended using these, so I'm taking his word for it. And then we're just gonna join these two wires together, heat them up so that we get a nice weatherproof seal. And then just for good safety measure, we're just gonna add some shrink wrap on top. And then when we're all said and done, we're gonna make sure everything's housed in some nice, good looking, just basic black wire housing. It's not waterproof, but hey, it's one more layer. So just take those two together, glue in. Nice thing about these crimpers is they put the colors of your butt connector on there, so that kind of is helpful. But at this point, I'm pretty much using anything to 16 to 14 gauge wire, so I just know it's the middle one. And so you just get it in the middle. Don't have to go to arm day at the gym, because you'll get your workout in just doing this after a while. And then my brother, the pro electrician, says just do the good old tug test. If they don't come out, you're looking pretty good. And then heat them up so we get a nice weatherproof seal. Again, no pro, but what I was told was just kind of get the ends, so they seal around the already wire housing. And you don't want to stay in one spot with a blowtorch. At least a heat gun you probably could, but a blowtorch will actually kind of melt and sometimes even catch on fire. Or if your wire is kind of cheap wire, which this isn't the most expensive stuff, you could actually burn through the wire housing. So may or may not have already done that. I'm just kind of working through it and letting it slowly shrink. And I'll show you what I'm hopefully gonna get and aiming towards, which is a nice seal around the wire housing. And sometimes you kind of have to linger around the ends to get them to seal up. But you don't want to stay in one spot, because like I said, it'll melt that casing. Let me take a look. Yeah, that one needs a... So that one you can see looks pretty good, right?
Yeah, blue looks good.
Don't really want that too much, because that means water and other elements can get in there. And so this is where you just kind of have to be patient and not focus, but just stay in the area. Don't want to burn that wire casing. Eventually they come down. What's funny is it sealed around the smaller gauge wire a lot quicker than it did the larger gauge. You'd think it would be the opposite, but oh well. And then the rookie move, which I've done before, is not putting your shrink tube on before you connect, because then you're like, shoot, how do I get my shrink tube on? So just make sure you put that on first. So doing that. The other rookie move is putting on shrink tube that's too small, so when you got your butt connector, it doesn't go over, and you're like, well, that's awkward.
You're like, oh shoot.
And same thing with this one. This one kind of goes a little bit quicker because shrink tube's not as thick. The same thing applies. Don't want to stay in one spot too long, because you'll burn it.
Yeah, the blue's already good.
Yeah. Maybe it does shrink down on the smaller gauge wire. Oh yeah, that looks real good.
It does look good. Very nice.
You know you're pretty good because, I don't know, you can kind of see your butt connector underneath, but you can kind of see it's sealed. This one's not super sealed, so I might focus on that one a little bit more. But like I said, it's all about kind of having a little bit of redundancy. Having a butt connector is really good. Then having this is an extra layer. I know we're putting it in casing afterwards, so that's good. All right, so technically, if we had a ground wired up, which I need to do a splice real quick, we could get the left turn signal working. We'll probably do a test before we close everything up. But let's splice off our ground wire real quick, because that we need to have two connections for, and so I'm gonna do that real quick. I'm gonna want a black lead like right here. So like Zach said, not splice, probably right about here.